There is something special about immigrants and how immigrants move in America. Immigrants are 14% of the population, but they roughly own 1 in 5 businesses. Nearly 50% of the Fortune 500 companies were created by immigrants or their kids. Why? What can you copy from what immigrants do, whether you're an immigrant or not? In this video, I will share my story as an immigrant and give you 5 traits that I think help immigrants get ahead in America. I came in America in 2008 and I followed the American dream. I went to school, get a degree in mechanical engineering. After that, I did a lot of side hustles and finally got a job in the federal government. Getting a job was satisfying, but my American dream was always get a big house, get married, and make a lot of money. After almost a decade, I decided to quit my job to go full-time entrepreneurship. The traits that I want to talk about are number one, immigrants usually start learning and it's a lifestyle. They never stop. In my case, learning English was a second language because originally I speak French. And honestly, I've never stopped learning English. Even me doing this video, somewhere in the back of my mind is still me practicing my English lesson and getting better in my public speaking. That's to show you how I will extend the learning, find more creative ways to never stop until I reach the goal. Secondly, it's a lot about sacrifice. I think as an immigrant, in the beginning, I had very humble beginnings, very little money. So I had to sacrifice a lot. For the first 2 years I was in America, I barely went out. And if I went out, it was on somebody else's budget. I didn't spend money drinking, going to clubs, none of that. I literally sacrificed and say to myself, okay, I'm gonna go to school, study, make my English good enough to get a decent job, then I can relax. And that's a habit that I have to this day. I sacrifice a lot of good time, a lot of friendship, a lot of things that I judge are not part of the bigger goal. Even if I really like those things. Isn't that the definition of sacrifice anyway? The third things I want to talk about is gratitude. Let me tell you the story when I went back to Cameroon for my first time in 2017 after being in America for almost a decade. Cameroon was fine most of the time. I went around and things were the same as I left back in 2008. There was bad situation, the roads were bad, a lot of people were still struggling. I went to have a good time, but honestly, I didn't really have a good time. And when I came back to the airport, like you have to go to this international road when you go outside the country. And when we landed in America and we went to the international road in, I think it was Dallas Airport, I felt grateful to be in America. I remember the officer looking at my paperwork. He was like, why are you so excited? I was smiling. I was so relieved to be back in America. Like the joy was on my face. Like I was like, thank God that I had this opportunity because a lot of people stay in America for so long, or a lot of people who were born here don't really understand all the accessibilities they have. If you're hungry, you can get a McDonald's, a Chick-fil-A, or a Chipotle in less than 15 minutes. If you want to do something, go to the gym, you can just run to the gym if it's not far from your house, or you can drive your car. You have hot water all the time, electricity all the time, some money in your pockets. And I think those things are enough to be grateful for. The next thing I want to talk about is we never really forget where we come from as an immigrant. Let me explain. Yes, I've been living in America for 15 plus years. I understand the system. I got a good job. But in the back of my mind, there's still a lot of people that I know. The majority of people that I can remember growing up are still back in Cameroon. So that means even let's go further. Like every time I speak, I know I come from somewhere. My accent, the way I do things, that might look strange to people around here, but what is normal for where I'm coming from, right? Like simple things. All I'm saying is you never forget where we come from. In the back of my mind, I always want to give back to Cameroon because that's the first country where I came. I understand the struggle over there. I see keep connections there, so people keep me updated. I watch a lot of shows from Cameroon. There's a lot of shows that we have access on YouTube, and it's very helpful because I can see the town where I grew up. I can see people habits. It makes me laugh. It makes me remember where I come from. So I never get lost. And the last thing I want to talk about on the traits immigrants have that help them get ahead is delaying gratification. We are willing to like drive a beat up car for years. I mean, I drove my Corolla as a 6'4" man, 225 pounds since 2015 to like, I still got that car because I'm delaying gratification for a better day. I could have got a Navigator back in 2015 instead of a Corolla, but I chose that. And I see a lot of people are not willing to do that. A lot of people are not like, I don't know how to explain this one because I didn't even realize it's just in my blood that I gotta delay gratification on anything. And that's why sometimes, even if I can afford something, I always had to negotiate. I mean, I'll be like, oh, it's too expensive. That's something I can deal with later when I make a lot of money. But that's an immigrant trait that helps because at the end of the day, you want to delay gratification if you want to be successful. You want to save some money. Like as soon as I started working, I learned about the 401k. I started saving. I could have rent a big apartment. That's a good example. But I'd rather stay in the house with roommates and pay $400 a month than renting an apartment and pay $1,500 a month. And that allowed me to use that money to invest more in my 401k and create my Airbnb when I was ready. I ran an Airbnb for 5 years from 2018 to 2023. I kind of stopped when I got married because we were expecting a baby and I didn't want to be running the Airbnb with the baby in the house. I trying to find a better business. I started Amazon. Like I said before, I did Uber for a couple years after I graduated until I found a federal job. And even on weekends when I got my federal job, I was still doing Uber just because sometimes I don't even need it. I remember one customer asked me one day, what do you do? I'm like, okay, I'm an engineer. It's like, what are you doing this? I couldn't answer. And honestly, till this day, I cannot answer that question because the mindset, the mentality of the immigrant is, I got to hustle. And at that time, I had no family. What am I going to be sitting in the house and do? So that's the mindset. That's the mentality. I mean, playing video games. I think there's some point where you get tired of playing video games. You can play video games for 6 months and then you want to do something. But the biggest thing, in my opinion, is the willingness to learn. I remember I started a business about network marketing in April 2015. And that changed my life because after I graduated, it was kind of hard to find a job in my field. So I tried different things. And that network marketing taught me so much. I learned about personal development. I started listening to Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, Les Brown. And to tell you the truth, I was listening to personal development audio nonstop every single day for probably 7 years. The only reason I stopped around 2022 is because the network marketing didn't work. And I kept listening to audio. So I had the Uber, the Airbnb, in my car, I was listening so I put it on a flash drive. And when I bought my Toyota Corolla, there was a spot where you can connect the USB. So in the flash drive, I had Jim Rohn, Kiyosaki, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins. I had like all it. I just downloaded it from torrent. So it was like I don't know, I wanted to say 1 terabyte, but probably 64 gigabyte of just personal development nonstop. So once I connected that flash drive and I pressed play, it just play nonstop. So that made it easy. So every time I got in the car driving my Uber, I just got the personal development. Even when I was going to work, it was just going on nonstop. I stopped listening to radio. So to come back to the fact that I stopped listening in 2022 is because honestly, I didn't really see the improvement. Like, I love it for the first 5 years, but when you listen to those audio, and since I got it from torrent, they don't really tell you what to do. Like, I mean, they tell you what to do, but they don't tell you how to do it. They don't, like, you in the audio, you can be listening to something that's not important to your life right now. For example, I wanted to improve my communication skills. Yes, I listened to some strategies and techniques and tactics on those personal development tapes, but I realized if I take a Dale Carnegie course, it's going to like really help me going where I'm going. So I kind of slow down the personal, but I would encourage everybody to listen to personal development every day because it drastically impacted my life for the better, improve my English, improve my confidence, improve my self-esteem. I learned so much from all those people I listed, like Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy. So I got that willingness to learn from wanting to learn English, and it's still going on today. Even for my YouTube, I keep learning. And for me, that's one of the immigrant secret. I've learned Airbnb, I've learned government contracting at work. I've learned leadership, I've learned communication, I've learned so many things, so many strategies that right now I feel confident to be an entrepreneur and I know I will succeed because I will keep learning any skill. I've learned accounting, I'm learning entrepreneurship. Even to improve communication, I'm getting coaches, voice coaches. Like, I don't know, anytime, anything that'll help me go to the next level, I will spend my money on that. There you have it. In this video, I wanted to share why immigrants are getting ahead and what they get and how you can use the traits that they have for your own benefits. I share my story. I give you the 5 traits, which are willingness to learn, sacrifices, delay gratification, gratitude, and they never forget where they come from. If you apply that to your life, I'm sure you too can get the benefits of their success. If you like this video, watch the next one.